I think, is this your first time? We'll find out. The legendary comic book artist, Mr. Neal Adams. Oh, yeah. So let's hear from you first. Welcome to Manila, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Alright.
How you guys doing?
Yeah, microphone. This is my brother Kevin. We do a musical act. He's the soprano.
So welcome to Manila. Maybe, okay, maybe just to break the ice. Is this your first time here in the country?
Oh, yes, it's my first time.
Isn't this everybody's first time?
Okay. So,
Great country so far. Love the food.
really? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Okay. Test. Do you have any questions? Anybody can start off?
Yeah, you guys are reporters, right? You have questions?
Go ahead.
Raise a hand.
Me again.
It's okay. Question on camera.
It's actually for Mr. Adams because a lot of my friends and a lot in particular are excited about you coming here, especially two of my brothers because they're fans of Batman. So we just like, you know, when you found out that you were coming here and you know the reaction from what was your initial reaction when you found that you were coming to Manila and you know there's a lot of people here are fans of Batman in particular.
And not of me.
Well, you're drawing also the drawings that you've done for the DC comics itself.
I think I was told that I was to come here to teach the actors to draw. So that's why I'm here. So we're going to have drawing lessons in the evening, and in the morning they're going to show you their artwork. And so that's why I'm here.
And I'll be the first one signing up.
So what did I think? You may know that I know a lot of Philippine artists in America. You may know that I was instrumental in bringing a lot of those Philippine artists to the United States. You may know that they call me Dad. Rudy Nebres worked in our studio for a long time. Tony DiZanuga was the first guy to come. Nestor Redondo. I mean, I know we took them away from you, and I apologize for that, but we paid them so much more money. And then there's Alex Nino, whose son is also following his father's footsteps and bringing him to conventions. And we have all the best artists, so you guys have to raise more artists. We need them, okay? And we need them to draw Batman with us.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, question, go.
Okay. Oh.
Go ahead. Maybe you can just...
Oh, I can project my
Yes.
voice.
Please introduce yourself.
Okay, so you're both, this question is for both of you. You're both experienced in your respective fields. So I wanted to know if there's still a dream project that you want to pursue, even at this point. That's for both of you.
Yeah, I think you first.
Well, there are a lot of things. I mean, I want to write Batman. Yeah. You know, so that's one of them.
You know Kevin's a writer.
Yes.
Besides being an actor. So wanting to do Batman is not a big surprise. Not a big. Keep going, Kevin.
Kevin, actually, you know him as a Lycan who came out in the Underworld movie franchise, but he actually created the Underworld movie franchise. He wrote it. Did you know that? So we would not have had Selena and those other characters if not for Kevin.
And also I Frankenstein as well.
And I Frankenstein, yes.
So he's not a mere actor. He's also an intellectual writer. And by the way, I just need you to know that while you're asking questions and thinking about your questions, he's sitting here growling.
Oh.
Very, very low. Next question.
Next question, please.
Come on. If you don't have a question, we have to leave. Yes, right there.
Jason.
Yeah, I have a question for Mr. Adams.
You just made it up.
No.
Because you were desperate.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too.
Go ahead.
How does it feel that, you know, Superman's celebrating 80 years this year, and you were a large part of his legacy.
Yes.
Especially that iconic cover with
Oh, you're
breaking
gonna
the
say the
kryptonite,
embarrassing thing,
and
aren't
and you
How
know
was
you
it?
did Superman versus Ali. So how does it
That's
feel
true.
to be part of this legacy of 80 years?
There are times that DC Comics likes me, and times that DC Comics doesn't like me. I think I'm at a moment where DC Comics doesn't like me, but then the fans write in and the fans ask for me to do things so that they go, oh, we better give him something on this Superman thing. So they gave me a backup story in the big collection of the. You have it in there? Okay. So you're going to get it signed. See the head go up and down? So they had me do that, and in the story, it was written by Paul Levitz. And Paul Levitz knows how much I hate that Superman cover where he's breaking the chains on his chest because one leg is too short, one leg is long.
Yeah.
So see, now you can't look at it without going.
But
"Oh,
people
one
keep
leg is
copying
too
it.
long."
And the thing
Yeah.
is, speaking in my office.
It's to have. It was because he had those two big words between his legs.
Yeah.
Kryptonite
Night
nevermore.
nevermore.
Right? So you had to make that leg longer. I pretended it was perspective, but it was a lie. So Paul Levitz wrote a little short story where Superman is playing chess with Luthor, and Superman wins, and Luthor's PO'd, but he has these chains come up, wrap around Superman, and Superman breaks them on his chest. So I get to do it again.
Yeah.
So, it's sort of made up for me not being in that book there. But, next week they'll love me at DC, and it's just the way it is, because I've been such a troublemaker. Artwork.
But that's a
back.
good thing.
It's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you think about it, it's a
I
good
mean, what you did for Siegel and Schuster is
Little
it's not
things
a,
like
it's
that,
not a small thing.
That's true. They deserve what they get. And sometimes they get my ire, sometimes they get a nice piece of art. I have, we've got Batman and the marriage with Catwoman, and I have a variant cover
Ooh.
of
For-
Batman and Catwoman
for number
on the
50?
cover,
Ah.
and there's 25 variants.
Yeah.
So I was afraid mine would get lost. So I have Batman tipping Catwoman back, and while he's tipping her back, she's ripping his costume off. And he's got a hairy chest. Just saying. Anybody else?
Anybody else?
I know, you were so hypnotized by the answer.
Yes.
Yes.
So this question is for Kevin.
Yes, ma'am.
Being on both ends of your creative work, being a writer and as well as starring in it, what was the most difficult thing, for interpreting it on both sides?
I think as far as the writing, was trying to decide whether or not I was going to eschew some of the mysticism and some of the lore associated with both vampires and werewolves, because there was a lot of mysticism and a lot of it didn't make any sense. So I wanted to make the creatures more scientifically based. And given that, what would I do and how would I do it, and deciding whether or not, or wondering whether or not the fans would accept it. With respect to the acting thing, that was all fun. So there really wasn't too much difficulty, except when I had to walk naked across the Underworld and it was cold, and I had to carry someone on my back, but that was about it. But it was fun. It was good.
As an actor, how did you feel about the writer?
Sorry, I have a comic book geek question. I saw on the internet people want to actually cast you as Darkseid. Darkseid.
Yeah.
There's
Don't you think that's a good idea?
With that
Has
voice,
anybody
yeah.
approached you about
No,
this
no,
idea?
no. I mean, all that stuff is star driven. I'm not a star.
Wait a second. Wait a second.
What? Yeah. What do
You got the
what's
voice
your
for
fancy?
it.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear that voice on Darkseid?
Yeah.
Or is it Dark Side?
Well, you know how it's spelled. It is Darkseid.
I
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said when I was growing up.
Damn you.
Yeah. Any more
Okay.
questions?
See, you're so fascinated by these answers. Your minds go blank. I know what it is. I understand.
Go, Lizette, you have a question.
It's not actually a question, but more of, say, a gratitude to Mr. Neal Adams for what he's done for Superman, especially for its creators, Siegel and Schuster. So thank you very much for what you've done.
Okay. Okay, we got, all right. Okay, so you guys are nice people. So I'm going to tell you the truth. Because, you know, you think a lot of people who do things like that, like they're, you know, that they don't have any selfish motives. But maybe I did. Just saying, I might have. And I'm going to tell you a story that will show you that perhaps you shouldn't think so highly of me. I'm in Chicago. I'm 21 years old. I'm walking past an alley. We don't have alleys in New York because the buildings are too close together. But in Chicago, they have alleys. So if you ever see a movie that has an alley and they say it's New York, it's not New York, it's Chicago.
Chi-town.
Or Cleveland. One of those two. They have alleys. So I'm walking by an alley and I hear sound. And I turn and look down the alley and there's a big guy in a coat, big heavy coat and a hat. He's by one of those exit signs that are usually red, not green.
Yeah.
And it's flickering. And the guy goes like this. Say, what? Clearly I have to go closer, but I'm from New York, so I'm not afraid. So I go down the alley. I get closer to the guy, and the guy says, in a voice very much like yours, Kevin, he says, this is the deal. You get all the artwork back, you get royalties for everybody, you take care of everybody in the comic book business, you take care of Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, you do this for the rest of your life, and you get to keep your hair. I said, thank you, sir. You have a deal. You have a deal, sir. Absolutely. You've got a deal. That's why I have this hair.
That's a beautiful crown.
Just saying, a little selfish, but you know, that's how I got it.
It's a beautiful crown.
Okay. Any more questions? If we don't have any more questions, we can proceed to Hall 4 for our media launch.
Yeah, think of the questions you're going to think of on your procession to Hall 4. Oh, I could have asked. Oh my
You have
God.
time to think about it.
Are they really brothers? Do they really sing together? And is he a soprano?
The hair, is the hair.
Oh, the hair's real. The hair is real.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Neal Adams, Mr. Kevin Grevioux. We'll see you all downstairs at the main stage at Hall 4. Thank you very much, everybody. Yes, please. Let's have